Ay, 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 Toronto, you should be ashamed. And no, I'm not talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs or anybody on the team, etc. I am talking about just Toronto. Okay, do I want to say in general? No, that offends an entire city. You'll get what I mean as the video goes along. It's not that bad, but then it is kind of bad, which is why we're making this in the way that we're making it. Either way, yesterday you probably saw the Anaheim Ducks take on the Toronto Maple Leafs and lose 2-1 in overtime. You probably saw it for a few reasons. Firstly, there was a crazy guitar solo for the national anthems that was really interesting to watch. I'm not going to say any comments as to the musical talent, but I will say the guy who did perform was a comedian, so that might play into why everything was played in the way it was. Secondly, you might have seen this game because it was one of only 2 games on in the NHL last night. It's so terrible, the scheduling, everything's going from 13 games one day to 2 games the next day, and now we have another 13 games today, something like that. I mean, how many games are on the schedule? 13 again, and then 3 tomorrow, then 12 on Saturday. Please give my fantasy team a break by separating these games. But either way, we had ourselves a very noteworthy performance in this Anaheim-Toronto game from the goaltender who had stopped 55 shots on goal out of a total of 57. Let's talk today about Lukas Dostal. This guy had himself a night. 965 save percentage. Again, 55 saves on a Toronto Maple Leafs team that just could not beat him until the end. Auston Matthews sealed the deal. You could see Dostal's body language on the play. The guy was defeated. The guy kind of looked to the heavens a little bit. He was kind of just out of it because, you know, this guy went out there and stopped over 50 shots and he still can't pull out the victory. The team in front of him cannot score, and it's ultimately the Martin Jones show that gets things started and finishes off the night with the win. Either way, you had yourself some records being broken, like this record that was tweeted out by the Anaheim Ducks, the Dostal with a record-setting night. And you got the bricks over here because, yeah, Lukas Dostal is a brick wall. Take a look at this Attack on Titan graphic. How cool is this, man? Like, I'll admit my anime days are way behind me. I'm a lot more into regular movies now, but still, seeing this, fantastic, especially since it's culturally relevant since Attack on Titan ended just a little bit ago. There still is that fresh imprint on our minds. Attack on Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks single game saves record, set by Lukas Dostal in this 2-1 overtime loss against the Leafs. 55 saves on the night. It's literally a record, and for Lukas Dostal, this is a great thing. It's another fantastic accolade to add to his resume because this guy's only 23 years old. He's just a month older than I am, pretty much. 6'2", so not the tallest goalie in the world, 174, left-handed catching guy, signed to the end of 2025. Initially a third-round pick by the Anaheim Ducks in 2018. Now, part of the reason why I love the Lukas Dostal story so much is because we did actually make a video about this guy a few years ago. Take a look at this prospect video we had in, what was this, 2020? The 2 best NHL prospects that no one knows about, better than Tuukka Rask. In this video, we were talking about Justus Annunen as well as Lukas Dostal, Colorado and Anaheim Ducks prospects at the time. Dostal, ever since making his debut with the Ducks back in 21-22, has been slowly getting better. Last year in the AHL, he was a .912 goaltender in 34 games played. Unfortunately, the season before that was actually a bit better, a .916 save percentage in 40 AHL games. But Dostal is still seen as this guy who, right now, as the backup in Anaheim, with 16 games played and a .901 save percentage, he is supposed to be the future. John Gibson is not going to stick around forever. That guy may be on his way out, who really knows, especially considering the contract status, but it's no problem because Lukas Dostal is supposed to be the next best thing. So, what happens after you have a night where Lukas Dostal sets the record for Anaheim Ducks saves in a game? He loses 2-1 in overtime, but he makes 55 stops on the process, becoming a titan in Anaheim Ducks history. Somebody's got to call Levi over here. You have yourselves the Toronto Sun going out there and invalidating this accomplishment. Auston Matthews saves the day in an overtime win after a no-name goalie vexes the Maple Leafs. Written by Lance Hornby, published earlier today. Are you kidding me? No-name goalie? Buddy, I get that Lukas Dostal is not John Gibson. But to call this guy literally a no-name player is perplexing to me. Let's go out there and read what the article has to say. The story turned out to be a young goaltender after all. Not Dennis Hildeby, but there was still a feel-good angle and much relief for the Maple Leafs after Wednesday's 2-1 overtime win in Anaheim. Lukas Dostal, the 23-year-old backup for the downtrodden Ducks, made a career and franchise-high 55 saves at the Honda Center before Austin Matthews scored his NHL-high 30th goal. It was a little bit shocking, Matthews said, of Dostal's dominance. You try and think the next one's going in, but he had a hell of a game, and you have to tip your hat to him. Now, this article was published, and admittedly, look, I'll say that it's not like the worst thing in the world, but you did have a pretty big reaction from social media on the tweet wherein this was posted. You could see right away 487 replies, 1.3 million views, a whole bunch of quote tweets, not too many likes. Here's Mike from Top Shelf Hockey. Top reply. Big shout out to Mike, by the way. No name? What an embarrassing headline. He's one of the top rookies in the NHL and was a high-ranked prospect, leading to him getting the full-time spot. Ross goes out there and says, Lukas Dostal would be the best goalie Toronto has had in years. No wonder everyone hates the Leafs so much. Can't wait for the no-name team from Toronto to get ran out of the playoffs in the first round again. There are so many people going out there and hating this entire thing. And I'll go out there and say this from a content creation point of view. The writer here, Lance Hornby, is most likely not responsible for the titles. Titles are written by the editors. Content and the articles themselves are written by the writers. They're different. And so when it comes to the editor and going out there trying to make an article that people will click on and people will read, a title like this, admittedly, does exactly that. It does so in an infuriating and kind of facetious way because it's getting you to click based off of how disrespectful it is, but at the same time, I'm on the article reading it myself, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and read it. That's just the name of the game, baby. Like it or not, that's just how it is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. So, for Toronto to go out there with this article, the Toronto Sun that is, I do question the title. I would not have phrased it this way, 100% not. Lukas Dostal is not a no-name goalie in my eyes, but I can understand why they did it just because it's the regular old churnings of the media world, especially in Toronto, going out there. And in fact, you had the Anaheim Ducks reply to this Toronto Sun tweet. His name is Lukas Dostal. He had 55 saves last night, and he was the NHL's Rookie of the Month in October. Be better, the Toronto Sun. And you know what? That's a great tweet. I'm going to go out there and like that one. They definitely only get worse. This is why we hate the Leafs. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I know the name of Dostal. I like Dostal. I have him in my NHL 24 Xbox game. Terrible headline. He was spectacular. That's the thing, man. Lukas Dostal is indeed a legit goaltender. And I don't think it takes a Toronto Sun article to go out there and make people believe that he's not. But just going out there and writing it in this way is a very big and bad way to do it. So, Toronto, I'm going to go out there and say it. You guys got to be ashamed of yourselves, because while I understand the game, I understand the process of clickbaiting and getting people to read your articles, this entire thing, devaluing all the work that Lukas Dostal has put in as a third-round guy to work his way up into the backup spot in Anaheim after being not really the most highly touted player when he was drafted in the first place. Sure, he was like the best goaltender prospect, I think, from Europe that year. Was he ranked number 1? Yeah, he was number 1 by NHL Central Scouting for European goaltenders in 2018. But still, like, when he was drafted, a lot of people didn't really know too much about him. He's worked so hard and he's gotten up to this point that now he is a big name and literally the top Anaheim Ducks goaltender for a single game's worth of saves in history. He is a titan amongst the greats. So calling him a no-name goalie really does devalue that. So shame on you, Toronto Sun. I'm surprised they are still leaving this headline up, especially since this article was published so long ago. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the, what do they call him, the Dost Wall. Yeah, his great night against Toronto. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about the Anaheim Ducks and Toronto game from yesterday? How do you feel about Lukas Dostal and his development? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.